Have your fantasy teams been struggling this year? Or perhaps you've been doing pretty well but want to put yourself over the top? Then make sure to visit our friends over at Finish First Fantasy Advisors. They are the premier one-on-one consulting firm that specializes in providing you with expert support to help guide you to the championship. You will be matched with one of their expert advisors to provide you with the season-long insight for your redraft, dynasty, or DFS formats. Their advisors will contact you weekly to answer all of your questions and provide you the needed information to get to the next level. Set up a free 15-minute consultation by emailing them at info@finishfirstfantasy.com or by visiting them at www.finishfirstfantasy.com. That's www.finishfirstfantasy.com. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the SkullKing Sports Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Ryan Scullard. I'm here with CJ. How's it going, CJ?
Going well, man. It's been an interesting week. It's been a pretty cool week, though, with everything. Just finished watching the Monday Night Football game. That was a little bit closer than we expected. So
yeah, it was closer than I expected. I mean, I actually was thinking it was going to go the other way. I thought that Tampa Bay was actually going to pull that one out. So
yeah, Brady did not look like himself. I mean, he's showing his age right now.
Yeah, all those weapons and his arm still.
He missed Goddard on such a good post route that he just underthrew it by like 10 yards.
Yeah. It was kind of painful. And especially as a Seahawks fan, I would really love for the Rams to keep losing.
So. As a Saints fan, I was happy with the Buccaneers losing. So
at least one of us got a little bit of what we wanted tonight. All right. So tonight it is Waiver-Wire night, and just kind of as a heads up, we are probably not going to be doing another episode this week simply because of the fact it's Thanksgiving week. There's a lot of crazy scheduling. I mean, my family has so much, because this is the year that we don't do Christmas with my family. We do it with my wife's family. We are doing like Christmas and Thanksgiving all in one weekend.
Oh wow! So, you're gonna be packed with all your kids and everything. So.
I'm not gonna even hardly be. I'm barely gonna get my rankings done for this week. So we're probably not doing another episode this week. I will. For those of you again that follow us on our Facebook pages and groups, I will do my best to answer start-sit questions for you guys, so you guys at least have a little bit of that in my free time. So yeah, tonight is going to be our Waiver-Wire Madness episode. So we're going to go over the best waiver-wire picks, and really all we can do is the best waiver-wire picks, because there's not great waiver-wire picks. This is just the best option kind of.
It's a very hard week for waiver-wire because there's no buys at all to kind of like mitigate it. So the good news is most likely you have all your players at your disposal. Yep. The bad news is you're hit by any kind of injuries or you're already behind the 8 ball at some of your spots. Everyone has their players back as well. So hopefully you just played well and planned this out, that you have a good foundation on your bench and starters.
Yeah. So, again, hope that all works out for you. So yeah. So like I said, we will do our best to provide who we think is going to be the best options for you, and then we will call it a night. So before we get started, I want to mention Dr. Squatch soaps. I've noticed that some of you guys have actually been listening and ordering their stuff. It really is phenomenal. Make sure to check it out. Again, go to drsquatch.com. Check out their soap. They've got toothpaste. They just came out with a new product of deodorant, which I'm expecting mine in the mail any time now. Really looking forward to trying out that product. But again, I love their soap, all natural, cold processed, handmade. I love their black pine tar bar. It is an absolutely phenomenal product. Smells like you're walking through a forest. I absolutely love it. Love the smell after coming out of the shower. So again, go to drsquatch.com. Check out their products. You can actually build your own bundle of things to get bigger discounts by purchasing more stuff. So go do that. Go build your own bundle. Find out what they've got. Check out what they've got. You get a couple extra things thrown in. And when you go to checkout, make sure to use the promo code SKS20. When you do that, you will get 20% off any orders over $20. So again, SKS20 at checkout. Use that coupon code and you'll get 20% off any order over $20. Again, drsquatch.com. We absolutely love them, and like I said, I love their products, and in the process of getting more. So with that, why don't we go ahead and hop into today's headlines?
Today's headlines.
All righty. Well, there's not a whole lot to go over. There's just a lot of, it's just a little bit, there's a few really bad things, really, is what it is tonight. So, minor news here. Randall Cobb could be headed to IR with a toe injury. Myles Garrett is out, will remain out for Week 12 on the COVID list. And the big bad news, MRI revealed more damage than anticipated. Bengals QB Joe Burrow tore his ACL, MCL, and suffered other structural issues in his knee. When we saw this with Carson Wentz a few years ago, it was in Week 10. This is Week 11. So in Week 10, when he did it, he ended up missing the first 2 weeks of the next season because it's 9 months to 12 months of recovery. So we could be looking at Joe Burrow missing time next year as well because of how late in the season this is. So, I mean, this. What are kind of your thoughts on now what to do? I mean, Ryan Finley is not exactly a guy that's going to light things up. So, kind of how are you approaching this with the Cincinnati offense?
Yeah, it's definitely a downgrade to all positions across the entire offense. Something to monitor with this as well. Keep an eye on Joe Mixon on IR right now. They might shut him down potentially because they're not winning anything without Burrow in there. With like I said, so that's something to keep an eye on what they're going to do with Joe Mixon. The big Gio could be a volume play, but in a very low scoring offense, a desperation play. The biggest thing I think it makes T Higgins droppable.
Yep.
Someone's having a great rookie season. Love everything I'm seeing from the guy. One of my favorite rookies out of this class. The only one person I think left that you can play from this offense is Tyler Boyd because he was targeted the most whenever Ryan Finley was put in before. That's the biggest thing with that because Ryan Finley is a dink and dunk kind of player. That's what makes Gio a decent play if you like desperately need the running back sometimes, maybe going into Week 13 and you're a Rojo or something like that if you can't pick anything else up. Well, that's 2 weeks out, but yeah, this one I'm looking for ahead of it there. But Tyler Boyd should be fine. If you're a Tyler Boyd owner, I wouldn't be too worried just based on volume, though.
Yeah, I mean, you think about the players that Ryan Finley was thrown to in college. It was Harmon and Jacoby Myers. Again, Jacoby Myers, big slot guy. So that's the type of receiver he goes after, and that's really what Tyler Boyd is that slot type of receiver, kind of the possession guy. So
yeah,
really,
that's Tyler Boyd hitting about like 7 to 8 targets a game. That's what he averaged in the 3 games that they had before, about 7 targets.
Okay. Moving on, Chicago QBs Mitch Trubisky with the shoulder and Nick Foles with the hip are still dealing with injuries, and Bears head coach Matt Nagy declined to name a starter for Sunday's game in Green Bay, saying a QB change is still, quote, on the table, end quote. I mean, let's be honest, Nick Foles hasn't necessarily been lighting things on fire. He and Matt Nagy have had some back and forths, I guess is the kindest way to put that. And some communication issues. Do you see them going back to Mitch Trubisky?
As of right now, I do, just because the practice reports coming out today that Trubisky practiced and Foles did not. That's what the biggest thing coming out there. So I think Trubisky is in line to, whether it be via injury or because of play, to have another shot at being usable there. So I think that's what I would be banking on. Starting out, you're going to be using him in fantasy, but that's, I think, is going to be throwing the ball on Sunday.
Okay. Do you upgrade or downgrade anyone because of that?
I mean, I keep it exactly the same. I think they're both about, for the offense, the way they run. The only thing I could see is maybe a little more to Anthony Miller, maybe a little bit less to
Mooney.
No, I think Mooney will be fine, actually. A little bit less to the tight end, Jimmy Graham.
Yeah.
I think that's the main difference, I think, between the two of them, that Trubisky will throw more to a slot receiver, while Foles throws more to the tight end. Mooney's going to get his same targets he gets that are 60% uncatchable and look great doing it on his route. Allen Robinson will get his 10-plus targets with 60% uncatchable.
Yep. And catch 3 to 4 of them. So
he'll catch every catchable ball, though. 100% of the catchable, which is about 4 of them.
All right. Ravens running backs Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins are the 2 players to test positive out of Baltimore, per Mike Garofalo. They are out for Thursday night versus Pittsburgh.
That is correct.
Hello, Gus Edwards.
I guess. We'll probably talk about this more in the waiver wire pickup time, but I'm not excited if I have to pick up and play Gus Edwards by any means. I don't understand how he did not get a close contact designation as well.
True.
Like being in the running back court, playing the game, I don't understand. But seeing as he does not have it, he is definitely in line for 15-plus carries. And as a volume play, he's got to break one off. If you're desperate, which I hope you're not, that's something you can shoot for.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think that we can see maybe Justice Hill gets a little bit of work. We could see with how much they like splitting up the work. But again, going up against
so good, upset. Dobbins looks so good.
I know. I had finally started moving him up in my rankings a little bit.
He was the highest of the 3 that I ranked. I mean, they didn't rank any of them that high because I never knew he was going to get the ball, but he moved to be the highest one for the first time in the season this past week for me.
Alrighty. Julio with his hamstring could be a game-time decision. Coach Rule says that the Panthers still consider Christian McCaffrey week to week. And my one fantasy team keeps dying. Like I
said, I don't think he's coming back till week 14. I don't think he's coming back till after the bye.
Yep.
Especially with everything Teddy Bridgewater's dealing with. They're playing for the future. They're not playing for Super Bowl right now. Same thing. The reason I brought up the Mixon idea, same thing with the CMC. I think they're going to be cautious with these players that they put money into.
Yep. Yeah. What sucks is again, I've got one team where my first 2 picks were Christian McCaffrey and Austin Eckler. It's been brutal on that team.
How you doing on that team? The
fact that team got up, I think that team actually got up to 6-4.
Okay, you're scraping and clawing.
Might have been 5. No, I think I might have fallen. I think I might have gone to 5-5. I think that's what it was. And
that's just tough when you lose your first 2 picks.
Yeah.
That's so tough. That happened in one of my home leagues as well, and like the player I believe is 5-5 right now. So you're still in it.
Not when the top. It's a 10-team league. Top 4 make the playoffs.
Oh, it's top 4.
Yeah, and at this point, I'm one of the lowest scoring teams in the league because again, my top 2 guys have been gone the whole year. So.
Well, good for you for giving them a handicap. That was very nice of you.
I was trying to be kind.
Yeah.
Another minor note, Seahawks placed tight end Greg Olsen on injured reserve, signed Damon Snacks Harrison to the active roster. Hopefully he can help continue to shut down the run. Greg Olsen, that was brutal because it was non-contact. He took a step and plantar fascia tendon in his foot tore right in half.
I think he retires. I think he's done. Like it's over. He's going to the booth.
I think so too. I think that this is it for him. So
well, Disley season.
Yeah, unfortunately, they can't decide if they want to throw it to Will Dissly or Hollister. Rumors were actually going around that the Seahawks were actively trying to trade Hollister at the trade deadline and couldn't get anything for him.
I mean, would you give anything for Hollister?
I mean, they couldn't even get like a 7th-round pick. Nothing for him.
No one wants to take on the contract.
Yeah. This sucks too. Jets rookie running back LaMichael Pirine suffered a high ankle sprain on Sunday and is likely to miss a few weeks.
Yeah, I think he gets shut down too, or if he does come back, it's like for like a game. They're already out of the playoffs.
Yep.
Frank Gore season.
Yeah.
12 useless carries.
Hey. Vikings placed Adam Thielen on the reserve COVID list. Awesome.
Justin Jefferson's about to blow up.
Every time I rank him that he's going to blow up, he doesn't. I mean, at least this last week was respectable. This last week was at least respectable.
Yeah, he did good this week. I thought he was going to do good. That's a big hit to the offense, though. Adam Thielen has been made back-to-back weeks insane catches.
Yep.
Whether it be spinning the ball and drop or that one-handed grab he makes. So I think Justin Jefferson, they're facing the Panthers, I believe, this week. So it's already a tough matchup for that one. This is, again, Dalvin Cook's going to eat, which I think that's what they want anyways. So.
All right, and last but not least, there were reports that Eckler is close to returning to the lineup, which means probably not for another couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I would still give it a week or two. I mean, he was shown on, I believe, Twitter squatting, which is a big deal, and running. But it's a lot of all we've seen is one plane of motion going forward. For an athlete like him, and with the injury he had with the muscle coming off the bone, you need to see the lateral movement too. So until I love Twitter hype videos. They're like,
oh yeah, they're amazing.
They look great every time, but I think it's still a few weeks out. But when he does come back, it's gonna be really good because we've seen Kalen Ballage be able to do something in that offense, and he's getting 9 targets this past week, I believe, something like that.
Yeah, think that, yeah,
something like that. And you give Austin Eckler those targets, he's going to do so much more with that.
Yes, he is. All right, well, that is it for that. We do have one more sponsor we want to talk about real quick before we get into our waiver wire madness. A new company that we are partnering with is ONNIT. They provide supplements as well as workout equipment. And I guess you would probably be more inclined to be able to talk about what they do. Just kind of give us a quick overview.
Yeah, ONNIT's one of my favorite companies, honestly. For those of you that don't know, I compete in strongman outside of this, so it's one of my with that. So ONNIT, the coolest products they have are probably the one that we're promoting that's in the value pack that we're the sampler pack is the Shroom Tech Sport. I use that for every competition, but I'm really excited to try all the other products in there, like the Mood Amplifier. And if you need any kind of workout equipment, they have the coolest kettlebells. So I'm super excited to be partnering with them and have all these available things. Like my gym back in when I was living in Arizona, they had the monkey-headed kettlebell.
Oh, the big gorilla, yeah.
The gorilla one, yeah.
I looked at their catalog. They've got, I think they actually have a Boba Fett kettlebell. They've got a Darth Vader kettlebell.
So if you're into that sort of thing, that kind of like niche things, or just any kind of cool fitness stuff, or that sample pack is super exciting because it does have that sport in there and also has a few other things I'm super excited to really try that I'm not available to.
Yeah, so here's what's happening with ONNIT is if you go to right now I'm working on getting the links up on the website. We do have a couple of banner ads on the website. So again, go to SkullKingSports.com and you can check them out. I'll try to get some links in the show notes. But if you go to on the very top, you can try it's their Total Human Complete Supplement Pack. It's a 1-week trial. You go there and all you're paying is I think it's $5 for shipping, and you'll get 1 week worth of supplements. The Total Human. The other one is that we have an actual banner up for right now is the Shroom Tech Sport. Again, it's a 1-week trial of that I know you've said that you absolutely love that.
One of my favorite products. At every competition, I always start doing the Shroom Tech Sport before. It's great for endurance athletes, great for any kind of strength, or just recreational training. Helps your lung function so much, so it helps you lift or run, whatever you're doing. So I'm a big advocate for that one.
Okay, so again, go to our website. I think the other two. I think there's a new Hemp and a New Mood are the other two.
Super excited for that one too because it's a very good calming agent.
Yeah, so for all new customers, if you go to SkullKingSports.com, go to one of those banner ads to click on, and you can go in through their website and figure out which of those 4 you want to take. You want to get your free trial of. Like I said, CJ's been absolutely going nuts for the Shroom Tech Sport. The fact that we're going to be we're kind of giving away free samples of that. So 1-week trial, go through ONNIT to get some of that. And again, I think it's like I looked into it, it's $5 for shipping, and then and that's it. So I think you maybe have to get in there to possibly start to subscribe, but you can cancel that. So again, $5 for a one, basically just pay the shipping for the free trial of those. And so I'm actually looking forward to trying the Shroom Tech Sport myself. So. All right, let's go ahead and hop into the waiver wire madness.
Waiver-Wire Madness.
All right. This isn't going to take long, guys, because there's not a whole lot on the waiver wire to look at. So, I'm looking at the list that Fantasy Pros provides us. Again, this is based off of 50% ownership across both Yahoo and ESPN. And I mean, the best option I see there is, no, I don't like any of them. I mean, if you're absolutely desperate, maybe Phillip Rivers against Tennessee. Baker Mayfield still hasn't even been all that great in good matchups. Daniel Jones against Cincinnati, maybe. I don't like any of them.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's no one on this list that they gave us that I would want to stream by any means. So hopefully you have something on the waiver wire that is better than what we have to choose from here. Like I said, I agree with you. Rivers versus Tennessee is probably the best matchup-based one. But upside, I guess, Daniel Jones because his legs. But there's nothing here I'm excited for.
Yeah, going to Yahoo. Taysom Hill is rostered in 43% of leagues, so he's still available in less than 50% there. So that can be an option going up against Denver. Again, if you're desperate, not a great matchup or not a great, not a great option, but doable. It's a streamable option.
Yeah, Taysom looked like a good fantasy player this week. That's the biggest thing. I think just his legs give him the ability to get you fantasy points. So he's kind of like the Tim Tebow effect, or like a diet Lamar Jackson. So,
all right, a diet Lamar Jackson. I'll remember that one. All right, moving on to running backs. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot there for quarterbacks. So, moving on to running backs. Really, I mean, the best option here that's listed for us on our thing here, I guess, is Gus Edwards because of the opportunity with the two main guys in Baltimore going out with COVID.
Yeah, I completely agree that Gus Edwards is probably the best option out of the list that we have. Just literally using a 15+ carries going there, but it's facing one of the worst matchups you can have in the Pittsburgh Steelers run defense. The only caveat is how well they did the first time they played. The running backs did. They were the only team to really do well versus Pittsburgh, but I still wouldn't bank on that based on what we've seen.
Yeah, and I'm going through the list of available running backs in in Yahoo, and there's no one. I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, again, I know it's New England, and it's all game script dependent and everything. What are your thoughts on James White now with Burkhead gone? Because once Burkhead went out, James White was getting involved again.
I think he is playable in a deep PPR still. It was a weird game for Cam Newton, though, too. That's the thing. This is the first time he has thrown over 300 yards in a game. So it is
since Seattle, yeah.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing. And also his rushing yards were almost nothing, which is like the complete flip of script we've seen from Cam all season. So I think that kind of helped the running backs.
Yeah, well, part of that, I actually looked into this a little bit. Houston is actually one of the better teams in terms of keeping running quarterbacks from putting up a lot of yards with their legs. I think they managed to keep Lamar Jackson, I want to say it was like under 40 yards or under 30 yards or something like that when Baltimore played him. So
good thing they can stop running quarterbacks, but can't stop running backs.
Yeah, isn't that great? So,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, and again, Carlos Hyde rostered in 39.4% of leagues. This is one of those, I still don't know who is going to be if Chris Carson is actually finally going to be ready. They say he might, but they've said he might for the last 3 weeks. So I think that Carlos Hyde could likely be a good kind of hold and wait and see since he's the Monday night game against Philadelphia.
I think it's only for the Carson owner, though. I don't think it's like
Correct.
anything else.
Or
because
if you
Monday
have
night
the
game.
extra space and you're not sure about your running backs. I mean,
the only way I could see me doing that is if Miles Sanders breaks his leg Sunday walking home. Like, because they're facing Philadelphia. Like, there's no way I can put Carlos Hyde in knowing I have nothing else after all the games I playing Monday.
that's true.
No, unless I know Chris Carson is out and we know ahead of time. It could be a speculative hold. It could be a block for the Carson.
Yeah, I was
owner,
about to
but I
say
think-
if you've got the space, it can block for the Carson owner.
Yeah, but I agree with what you're saying. But because it's the Monday night game, you have to take that into account.
Yep.
I can't see myself holding a roster spot for that unless I'm trying to block a Carson owner or I'm the Carson owner myself. In that situation.
Yeah, and another. It also helps Carlos Hyde that Bo Scarborough was put on IR. So because
he's always on IR. He plays like 3 downs a year, and he gets put on IR. Like for such a big guy. I mean, I don't mean to make light of the situation. It stinks, but it's just like he's supposed to be a bruising back, and he's always on IR.
And then Alex Collins, I think was I don't know. This is just
the reason they won't call him up is they have to sign him if they call him up.
I understand that.
So I don't know if they're actually going to do that either because they're playing the game of horde on practice squad as much as I can, which is very smart from an organizational standpoint.
Yeah. Well, especially if you consider how many teams have been dealing with COVID breakouts.
Yeah. Look at Baltimore. Like,
2
RBs gone.
All right, moving on to the wide receivers. This list is a little more promising.
Correct.
Obviously, I think that Deebo Samuel is probably the number 1.
I agree.
Number 2, I've got Michael Pittman Jr. The breakout, I think, is real. And against Tennessee, Tennessee gives up a lot on defense. They give up a lot on defense. And so I can see Michael Pittman putting up another decent game this next week against Tennessee. Let me see. I'm looking at what the rest of his schedule looks like. Tennessee, then Houston, Las Vegas, Houston again, and then Pittsburgh. Wait a second. Did that? Yep. And then Pittsburgh in championship week. That's a decent little schedule right there.
No, I think that's a great pick. I think Michael Pittman, I've liked him since he was drafted, and they definitely put good draft capital into him. So I think they're trying to showcase him and use him properly. I think that's a great choice there for that, especially going to the Tennessee secondary. That's where I would definitely put my second as well. My third, I think I would go with most likely. I'm still on the Jalen Reagor train, mostly because of the matchup.
Yep.
Versus Seattle. He has seen a good chunk of the targets. The targets just haven't been great from Wentz. I think this is a good bounce back game for Wentz as long as he can stay upright, which hasn't been much to see. But I think that's someone you can pick up and potentially play for desperate as well.
Yeah, I think that might be more in the desperation play, just because Seattle did at least better this last week at getting to the quarterback.
I think he's a wide receiver 3.
Yeah,
is where I wouldn't say. I'm not saying play him over somebody, but if you are need an upside wide receiver 3 in the matchup, that's someone I would be looking for because of the matchup.
Yeah.
Luckily, again, you pretty much have your team back, hopefully, and you weren't hit by injuries too hard, so you won't need to. But if you needed someone, I'd be looking for matchup for upside.
Yeah, especially if, say, Adam Thielen goes on the COVID list.
And you need a wide receiver to put in.
Yeah. I think the only other person that I really have on here is Nelson Aguilar, and that's, again, more of a lottery ticket kind of a play. Again, going against Atlanta, and how bad that defense is against wide receivers. I can see Nelson Aguilar. He seems to have the trust, for the most part, of Derek Carr, and so I can see him. It's usually 4 or 5 targets, and he'll drop at least one of them, but tends to get one of them into the end zone.
Yeah. No, definitely. That matchup is great for Nelson Aguilar, especially that deep ball. He's got a good connection with Derek Carr. Has been looking good. If you need some deeper plays, I'm just gonna bring these up now in your 14, your 16, or some of your deeper leagues. Russell Gage, if Julio can't go because of the hamstring, that's a good one to be looking out for. Depending on who plays quarterback, if it is Flacco again, I can see Perriman. They've shown another good connection there. And these are just deeper plays on the lower percentages. If you're on one of those leagues that you're, again, players on the COVID list, you're an Adam Thielen owner, you start 3 wide receivers and 2 flex, something like that. You need more names than what we're listing. Those are some guys to kind of look for this week.
All right. And finally, tight ends. Again, not much on this list. Jordan Reed, maybe. I mean, Dalton Schultz, at least with Andy Dalton in there, I think keeps a little bit of his value.
Yeah, I mean, he got the targets, he got the end zone targets, so he got the touchdown. So that's something to go with there with Dalton Schultz. My number one is Jordan Reed, just because the way the offense runs through the tight end, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
But again, that's a volume play, and it can zero. But that's the tight end position in general. The good thing is with Dalton Schultz, he has a better matchup, I believe, than Reed. But
yeah,
either way, those are like the 2 guys. I wouldn't consider Richard Rodgers or Akins a list that we have available. We only have 4 players to choose from in Fantasy Pros, but.
Yeah, and again, I think that they're going with the most likely to be used, who are, under 50% rostered across ESPN and Yahoo. So, yeah, if I had to pick between those 2, I would still put Akins above Rodgers.
At tight end 23 and 24, maybe too high.
All right. Well, that is it for our show tonight. Any last words, CJ?
No, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Hope you have a great time with your family. Enjoy yourselves and eat a bunch of food.
Yes, I think my favorite part of Thanksgiving is the nap after dinner, and then after that, my family is very, very, for the most part, very strict in this. And again, the only reason we're deviating from this is because of COVID and how everything's working out with family Christmas and everything this year. We are very much a respect the turkey family, where we don't pull out the Christmas decorations until after Thanksgiving.
I mean, I'm on your side on that 100%. Like, I'm waiting for all the peppermint things till Friday. We're still in like turkey zone, pumpkin, and this and that. So I agree with you.
Now, again, this year's been a little bit different simply because of how everything's had to work out with our family stuff and everything. So we've put up our tree and our Christmas decorations, and we've watched one Christmas movie, because tradition is while we do our Christmas tree, we watch Elf. But that's it. We have not let our kids listen to any Christmas music at all, again, until after Thanksgiving dinner. Then we start watching the old school Christmas movies, like White Christmas, Miracle on 34th Street, and all that kind of stuff. And so
the anticipation's building for your family. It seems
yes,
like
very much.
They're itching for it.
So, again, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I hope you guys all have a great week. Enjoy your time. I hope that your fantasy football teams do well. But I hope that even if they don't, that doesn't decide your weekend. I hope you guys all just enjoy time with family. If you don't have a great relationship with your family, have fun with friends. Just enjoy time. Be thankful. Take some time for yourself. And hope you guys have a great weekend. Again, this has been the SkullKing Sports Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Ryan Scullrud, together with CJ Kraus. Have a great Thanksgiving week, and we'll talk to you later. Hey, SkullKing Nation. Thank you for listening to the SkullKing Football Podcast. Did you like this episode? If so, be sure to go to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and YouTube to subscribe. Also, please leave us a rating and reviews to let us know how we can better help you rule your leagues.